Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the christening of the United States Coast Guard cutter Argus, the first ship of the heritage class of medium-endurance offshore patrol cutters. I'm retired Master Chief Petty Officer of the Coast Guard, Jason Vanderhayden, Director of Crew Integration for the OPC program here at Eastern Shipbuilding Group. On behalf of the 2,000 men and women of Eastern Shipbuilding Group, it is my very great honor to be your MC today. Already joining us on stage are Master Chief Heath Jones, Master Chief Petty Officer of the Coast Guard, Mr. Brian DeCernia, Chairman Emeritus, Eastern Shipbuilding Group, Captain Eric Matthews, Program Manager, Offshore Patrol Cutter Program, U.S. Coast Guard Headquarters, Captain Tobias Reed, Prospective Commanding Officer, Argus, Captain Jeffrey Payne, United States Coast Guard, Commanding Officer, Project Resident Office, Panama City, Florida, Mr. John Letourneau, Program Manager, OPC Program for Eastern Shipbuilding Group, Chaplain Jonathan Rogers, Lieutenant, U.S. Navy Chaplain Corps, and Father Thomas Kennel from St. John the Evangelist Catholic Church. Welcome. Now, will the guests please rise for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for honors, the presentation of colors, the national anthem, and the invocation. Get my glasses out. Rear Admiral Trad Jacoby, Assistant Commandant for Acquisitions and Chief Acquisition Officer. Admiral Linda Fagan, Commandant, United States Coast Guard. Congressman Dr. Neil Dunn, 2nd District of Florida. Miss Beverly Kelly, Captain, United States Coast Guard retired, our ship sponsor, escorted by Mr. Joey DeCernia, Chief Executive Officer, Eastern Shipbuilding Group. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now render honors to our senior official, the 27th Commandant of the United States Coast Guard, Admiral Linda Fagan. Hand salute. Ready? 2. Color guard, advance the colors. Yell hand salute. Hand salute.
Join me in singing our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare The bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
That was amazing. Ready? 2. Chaplain Jonathan Rogers will now deliver the invocation.
Hey, good afternoon. Let us pray. Father, thank you for this day and this momentous occasion. It is not every day that we are able to come together and celebrate and dedicate a new ship to our beloved Coast Guard. All glory and honor to you, God. Thank you for this ship. Lord, thank you also for the 1,000 or so people that built her and got her to where she is today. It takes so much teamwork and excellence to make a project like this to come together. In all things, you have worked through their lives and their hands to bring this project to this point. Thank you also for the project managers who oversaw the thousands of details that went into her construction and worked through the immense task of getting a new cutter in the water. It is by your goodness and grace that we are able to be here today and see what their hard work has accomplished. Lord, please bless this ceremony as Argus is launched today. And with your watching eye that needs no rest, please bless this ceremony by your mighty power and watch over all of Argus's future crews and give them the eyes to see and ears to hear and courage to act in every endeavor that she is asked to accomplish. Give her captains the wisdom, discernment, and courage that could only come from you. Please make the ship feared by the enemies of good and cherished by those that need her help and by the friends of righteousness. Father, today I ask that you would make this ship a banner for the heritage class of ship by making this crew the lead of a heritage of honor, respect, and devotion to duty. May her crews always be exemplars in the highest values and represent our nation, our Coast Guard, and our families well. Please utilize this Argus for your glory and for the good of the United States of America. I ask all this in your holy name. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Rogers. Will the guests please be seated? Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a round of applause for our terrific band from the Panama City Pipes and Drums, our amazing national anthem speaker, Miss Nisa Wilkins, and our fantastic color guard, led by Caroline Hutchinson, who is going to be joining the Coast Guard as soon as she graduates from high school. Almost had you graduating from basic training, Caroline. So please join me in welcoming a few special guests we have in the audience today. Our state, regional, and local elected officials, community leaders, and staff joining us, our partners and customers from the U.S. Coast Guard Program Office and Project Resident Office, the very anxious and excited plank owner officers and crew members of Argus, and finally, please help me welcome our Eastern Shipbuilding Group shipbuilders in the audience today. Their strength and commitment to excellence lives in each and every Eastern Shipbuilding built vessel. And now it is my pleasure to introduce my boss and the host of today's ceremony, the President and Chief Executive Officer of Eastern Shipbuilding Group, Mr. Joey DeCernia.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, and everyone watching at home, welcome to Panama City, Florida, and Eastern Shipbuilding Group. Today marks a significant moment in the maritime history of our great nation as we gather here to christen this remarkable first-of-class vessel, Coast Guard cutter ARGUS. It is an immense honor to stand before you today and represent the incredible men and women of this company and those of our community that have supported us every step of the way. You all can never be thanked enough. This beautiful ship today exists today because of a shipbuilder and a community that were absolutely determined to stay the course through a sea filled with storm after raging storm. With our families by our sides, we have poured our hearts and souls into this ship. This vessel is a testament to the grit and determination that defines our community. It is a symbol of resilience, a symbol of healing, and a symbol of faith. But beyond the steel and machinery, this vessel carries with it the hopes and dreams of all of those who will serve aboard her. It represents the aspirations of our nation, the idea of freedom, and the promise of safety and security. As ARGUS meets the sea for the first time, may she stand as a testament to all those who have worked tirelessly to bring her to life. May she sail with strength, grace, and purpose. And may her crew find courage in the face of any challenge. To the men and women who will serve aboard this vessel, take comfort in the fact that she has been built with a level of pride that cannot be measured. She is not merely a ship. She is a guardian, a protector, and a steadfast companion on your journey. May God bless this ship and our great nation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. DeCernia, for those wonderful remarks. It is now my pleasure to introduce Congressman Dr. Neil Dunn, representing Florida's 2nd Congressional District and a great friend of the amazing team here at Eastern Shipbuilding Group. Dr. Dunn?
Well, thank you very much for that warm Florida welcome. And I have the honor of representing Florida's 2nd District. This district includes the uniquely American story that is Eastern Shipbuilding, a very successful family-owned and operated shipyard born out of the passion and talents and determination of one family. As we stand here today to celebrate this historic event, I look around this yard and I am filled with pride and confidence in this team and its leadership. Joey, Brian, Mimi, all the DeCernias, congratulations on a brilliant project, well done and completed in spite of true adversity. The men and women who built this cutter before you are true patriots. They understand the value of hard work and responsibility of building a ship for the United States Coast Guard that will operate at its very limits for decades to come as it protects our nation. We cannot fully appreciate this event today without understanding the hardship and tragedy that befell our district in the aftermath of Hurricane Michael. Where we stand today, winds over 160 miles an hour ripped through the yard, leveling homes, offices, and assembly facilities. It strained to the very fabric of this beautiful coastal land that we called home. In the days that followed, neighbors helped neighbors, and workers returned to this yard with shovels and saws in hand to rebuild this yard and to get back on schedule producing ships, and they did all that and more. Eastern's leadership is self-funded, a temporary home for their employees who had their homes destroyed during the storm. So today isn't just an event or just a christening, it's a gathering of family. It's a celebration of the perseverance and grit of everyone who works here and their families. As we christen the Coast Guard cutter ARGUS and she slips down the ways, her legacy begins. Proud and defiant in birth, may she always remain so. I would be remiss if I did not recognize a couple of the more special people who joined us here today. First, I'd like to introduce a sponsor of the Argus, Captain Beverly Kelly. Yes, Beverly. Captain Kelly, your career from enlistment to commissioning and command is inspirational and truly important. I couldn't think of a more fitting sponsor for this ship on this proud occasion. It's a distinct honor to be here with you. And let me just say, it's always nice to see the Irish doing well. Admiral Fagan, the Commandant of the Coast Guard. It's an honor to have you in our fair city, Admiral. We hope you will become a regular visitor to this yard. And while we dedicate this day to celebrate, it's important to reflect on the nature of the operational responsibilities that this cutter will perform. She will bear her crew on missions into the worst storms and the most dangerous seas imaginable, all the while protecting the servicemen and women who sail her, who are our greatest American treasures. This cutter will protect our maritime approaches, our homeland, and the values we hold dear as we witness political strife and instability around the world. These are dangerous times, and we will need ships like this built for these times. I have no doubt that she will carry her crew with honor and distinction. I want to thank the DeCernias, the entire Eastern Shipyard family, and the United States Coast Guard for allowing me to celebrate this historic event with you. May God bless every one of you.
Thank you, Dr. Dunn, for your steadfast advocacy in Congress. It's been a major factor in the success of our shipyard. Our next guest speaker is Rear Admiral Chad Jacoby, the Assistant Commandant for Acquisitions and Chief Acquisition Officer for the United States Coast Guard. Admiral?
Good afternoon, Commandant, Congressman Dunn, Mr. DeCernia, Captain Kelly, and the longest list of distinguished visitors I've ever seen, as well as the combined crew of Eastern Shipbuilding and the Coast Guard. It's extremely exciting to be here today to launch and christen Coast Guard Cutter Argus. It is a major milestone for the Coast Guard's Offshore Patrol Cutter program, as well as our greater effort to recapitalize our major cutter fleet. Milestones are essential elements of effective program management. We use them to ensure a disciplined and considered approach is followed so that taxpayer resources are deployed as effectively and efficiently as possible. Admittedly, many of the things that we call milestones are not terribly exciting to people outside of the acquisition world. This milestone, the christening of a ship, is different. It's one thing to analyze charts, cost data, percent complete graphs, and move paperwork through the system. It's quite another to see an asset, especially OPC, take shape and come to life. After a long time of looking at blueprints, technical drawings, artist renditions, it's especially gratifying to be able to lay eyes on the actual ship and appreciate the tremendous progress achieved towards completion. It's also humbling to consider all of the hard work done by so many to reach this point. The shipbuilding professionals at Eastern Shipbuilding Group, our Coast Guard acquisition professionals, the ship design team, our sponsors office, our contracting staff, and budgeting staffs have done superlative work in the face of tremendous challenges to get us here. Altogether, between the shipyard professionals here at ESG, the Coast Guard community, and our great partners at the U.S. Navy, 6.5 million labor hours have been devoted to this incredibly important vessel. Modern shipbuilding and construction is no easy feat in any circumstance, particularly when the unique multi-mission capabilities required by the Coast Guard are considered. We're immensely proud of the hard work and resilience displayed by everyone on the OPC team to help us reach this milestone. We also wouldn't be here without the tremendous support of our congressional champions and the Department of Homeland Security stakeholders. Your assistance and oversight is key to not only the successful production of Argus, but to all the OPCs that follow. Argus, the lead cutter of the Heritage class, is the latest vessel in a line of ships to carry that name. The very first Argus was one of 10 ships built for the Revenue Cutter Service, one of the predecessor organizations to the U.S. Coast Guard. At that time, the nation's new Congress appropriated $10,000 for the effort, or around $1,000 per ship. This Argus is bigger. This Argus is much more capable. And this Argus is going to save many more lives. In fact, the view we have of Argus right now is fitting. It's the same view that a mariner in distress will see. We're at ground level looking up at a massive vessel. They'll be at water level looking up at a white ship coming to save their lives, coming to give them shelter and bring them home to their families. Today, we're building ships with designs and capabilities that were unimaginable to the shipbuilding industry that produced the original Revenue Cutter Argus. But we have no doubt they'd recognize and appreciate the hard work and expertise being put to use to serve our nation's maritime interests and be proud that their legacy is still remembered today. To our acquisition professionals, champions, stakeholders, shipbuilding community here at Eastern Shipbuilding Group, thank you for your commitment to supporting Coast Guard mission execution. We are all looking forward to the completion, delivery, and commissioning of the Argus and beginning what will surely be a distinguished record of service on behalf of the United States of America. Thank you. Semper Paratus.
Thank you, Admiral Jacoby. You've been working hard with the OPC program for many years, and we're grateful for your leadership. And now it's my honor to introduce today's keynote speaker, Admiral Linda Fagan, the 27th Commandant of the United States Coast Guard. Admiral.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. What a beautiful day to be here in Panama City as we get ready to launch and christen Argus. Congressman Dunn, Joey and the DeCerna family, Captain Kelly, prospective crew members of the Cutter Argus, family, friends, all of you are here to help celebrate today's significant event. Welcome. And thank you for joining us as we christen and launch the Coast Guard's first offshore patrol cutter, the Argus. This new cutter is a game changer for the Coast Guard and for the nation. You know, the United States is a maritime nation, and our national security, economic prosperity have always been linked and tied to the sea. Demand for Coast Guard missions and cutters that execute them have never been higher, and that demand is global, and this ship will contribute to helping ensure maritime governance and sovereignty across the world. Coast Guard cutters serve in all of the oceans and seas of the world, from pole to pole. We support every combatant commander within the Department of Defense, collaborate with partners and allies. In fact, are a partner of choice for many of those partners and allies as we demonstrate professionalism and good governance and what it means to be a professional global Coast Guard. In the Western Pacific, we uphold international norms by helping smaller nations protect their sovereignty and natural resources from the scourge of illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing. In the East Pacific transit zone, our cutters interdict narcotics smuggled at sea to keep those dangerous drugs off American streets, to deny transnational criminal organization illicit sources of revenue. This is life-saving work, and it's life-saving work that we are committed to each and every day. In the Caribbean, our cutters carry out vital life-saving work as large numbers of people embark on perilous journeys in the hopes of reaching the United States. Today, these critical missions are performed by our legacy medium endurance cutter fleet, many of which are over 50 years old. The high operational tempo puts great pressure on these aging systems and the crews that maintain and operate them. The offshore patrol cutter fleet will take over these missions and take mission performance to an entirely higher level with capabilities well beyond our current medium endurance cutters, the 210 and 270 foot cutters. The offshore patrol cutter will complement our national security cutters and fast response cutters. ARGUS will uphold maritime governance, protect U.S. interests around the world, and serve as a beacon of professionalism and freedom at sea. In today's global security environment, the offshore patrol cutter is critical for protecting our security and prosperity at sea. I'd like to take a moment and reflect on the significance of this ship, on ARGUS, Latin for watchkeeper, all-seeing. And I know that this ARGUS will continue the tradition of the revenue cutters that bore her name through the history of this great organization. And as we launch and christen this ship, this is an important milestone in the life of the ship. It will meet the sea today. And as we bring life and vitality into the ship, as the crew begins to engage with the ship, this is a moment to celebrate. It is really exciting to see ARGUS at this stage in her life as she comes into the Coast Guard fleet. You know, it does not is not lost on me that it has taken a village, truly, to get us to this point with this ship. And the workers and the team here at Eastern have literally poured their sweat and life into construction of this ship. And so I know it's with a great deal of pride and ownership that we now begin to share and bring our life and crews into this ship as she will go forward and do great work for the Coast Guard, great work on behalf of the nation. And I applaud the workers and the employees here at Eastern for all that they have done to create this incredible ship behind us. I'd like to thank Congress and the administration for their support of the Coast Guard and the Offshore Cutter Patrol program. This would not be possible but for their support. And their commitment to these new cutters is a commitment to our nation's safety and security today and into the coming decades. So our sponsor, Captain Beverly Kelly, and she truly is a groundbreaker and a remarkable figure. I can't imagine having a better sponsor for this ship. ARGUS leads the way for the offshore patrol cutter class, and we're fortunate to really welcome a great afloat leader to serve as this ship sponsor. I first met Captain Beverly Kelly. I was a young lieutenant commander at headquarters in my first tour. I won't tell how long ago, but Beverly was still on active duty, and I saw then firsthand what a remarkable leader and cutterman she is, and as she continues to advocate in that role, and now the role that she will serve as the sponsor of the ship, and that she'll serve with the plank owning crew and the crews that come. Captain Kelly has served at sea on 6 cutters, command of the Cape Newwagon, Northland, and Boutwell. And as ARGUS prepares to join our fleet and lead cutter operations into the future, I can't think of a better sponsor to christen the ship and represent all those who have served at sea in the past, who are serving at sea now, and who will serve at sea in the future. She's a source of inspiration and strength and courage for the plank owners. Beverly, thank you. Thank you for being here today, and I look forward to your remarks. Thank you for leading the way for our service as we forge into the future. And as I reflect on this ship, this piece of steel behind us, and have acknowledged the work and effort and toil that's gone into creating this ship, and as the crew begins to take a role in the ship, it is not lost on me. This is just steel behind us. It's the people, their heartbeats and energy that will truly bring this ship to life and create the art of the possible with this incredibly capable state-of-art ship. Incredibly proud of the accomplishments here today as we celebrate ARGUS and prepare to put her in the water and christen her. On behalf of every Coast Guard crew who will sail this ship throughout its service life, thank you. Thank you all for your dedication to your craft, your work to ensure Argus is ready to meet every challenge that lies ahead. And I assure all of you, the crew that will take command of Argus is ready for the challenges that lie ahead. Thank you to the audience for gathering here today. This is a great day for the Coast Guard, a great day for the nation. I'm excited. Can't wait to see Argus in the water here in a short bit of time. Thank you all. Semper Paratus.
Thank you, Admiral Fagan. Your words are inspiring, and the team at Eastern Shipbuilding is excited to deliver this ship to the Coast Guard and the men and women who will serve in her. Now, one of the most important people in the life of a ship is the ship sponsor. Far beyond participation in ceremonial milestones, sponsorship represents a lifelong relationship with the ship and her crew. While this bond begins with the ship's christening and the plank owner crew, it will ideally extend through the ship's service life and even beyond. It is my honor to introduce our ship sponsor, Captain, United States Coast Guard retired, Miss Beverly Kelly.
Hello, everyone. I know you've heard a lot of speeches here, so I was instructed not to tell sea stories and make this short. So I will do that because I'm as excited probably as you are to watch the cutter go into the water. I'm honored to have been selected to be the sponsor of Argus. I want to thank the Coast Guard for giving me this chance to be part of this significant milestone and to be involved in the life of this fantastic new cutter and crew. After 30 years as a coastie, with 14 of those at sea, I developed a sincere love for the Coast Guard and especially the cutter fleets. As the Admiral said, I served on 6 cutters. While I was assigned to them, one was brand new and the others range from age 10 to 34. Today, 3 of them have been decommissioned, 3 are still on active service. One of these 3 is 55 years old, and the other 2 are young, they're only in their 30s. The Argus and the rest of the offshore patrol cutters are being built to replace these old workhorses. As you can see, the new heritage cutters are absolutely vital to the Coast Guard's ability to continue serving our country by meeting new and more complex mission requirements. I really want to thank Eastern Shipbuilding Group and the Coast Guard team for all of your dedication, professionalism, and your hard work, creating such an outstanding ship. I really look forward to seeing Argus join the cutter fleet and watching the crew begin performing all Coast Guard missions. Historically, and even today, sailors venture far offshore to conduct their missions. At times, many of you know, the sea can be unpredictable and dangerous. I pray that Argus and all who sail aboard her remain safe on every voyage. This is an amazing cutter, and you all should be very proud, because as long as she sails, she will always be part of you. Let's get Argus starting on her lifetime journey. Congratulations, Eastern Shipbuilding, and congratulations to my Coast Guard. Semper Paratus.
Thank you, Captain Kelly. I had the privilege to serve under your leadership back when we were on active duty some years ago. You're an outstanding leader, and we are blessed to have you as the ship sponsor for Argus. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to that portion of our program that we have been eagerly awaiting, when our ship sponsor will break a bottle of champagne over the bow of Argus and christen her in the name of the Coast Guard Heritage Class of Cutters. If I can invite the christening team and Father Cannell will bless the ship, and we'll make our way. Today is a momentous occasion as we gather to celebrate the christening of the Coast Guard cutter Argus. This ceremony not only marks the formal commissioning of a new ship, but also signifies a renewed commitment to the vital mission of safeguarding our shores and waters. The name Argus, derived from the mythological figure with 100 eyes, is a fitting choice, symbolizing the vigilance and unwavering dedication of our Coast Guard. As we christen the vessel, we are not merely naming a ship, but we are breathing life and purpose into the steel and machinery. Argus is not just a cutter, it is a guardian, a protector, and a beacon of hope for those who depend on us to keep them safe. Breaking the bottle of champagne over her bow symbolizes the ship's readiness to face the challenges of the open sea, to stand vigilant on our coastlines, and to protect and serve the people of our great nation. Argus, like the figure from which it takes its name, will be our watchful guardian, ensuring that no threat goes unnoticed and no call for assistance goes unanswered.
Our help is in the name of the Lord, who made heaven and earth. Let us pray. Look with favor, Lord, upon our supplications, and with your holy hand bless this ship and all who sail in it, as you once blessed Noah's ark in the flood. Stretch out your right hand, Lord, as you extended it to blessed Peter when he walked upon the sea. Send your holy angel from heaven to deliver and guard this ship and all aboard it from every danger. Repelling all adversity, protect your servants with peaceful voyage and good harbor. When all their tasks have been well completed, call them back in due season to their own home with all happiness. You who live and reign forever and ever. Amen.
Thank you, Father Kennel. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the bow of this beautiful ship as Mr. DeZernia joins Captain Kelly, Rear Admiral Jacoby, Admiral Fagan, and Captain Reed.
United States of America, I christen the Argus. May God bless and guide this ship and all who shall sail with her.
There we go, yeah! Today, as we christen Argus, we also acknowledge the sacrifice and hard work of the countless individuals who have brought this vessel to life. From the shipbuilders to the crew that will soon call her home, from the designers to the families who will support the dedicated men and women aboard this ship is a result of a collective effort and dedication. In an era of ever-evolving threats and challenges, Argus represents our nation's resolve to ensure the security of our maritime borders and protect the lives and livelihoods of those who venture out to sea. This ship is a symbol of our unwavering commitment to rescue those in distress, combat drug smuggling, respond to environmental disasters, and enforce the law at sea. It is a testament to the brave men and women who will serve aboard her, standing ready to answer the call of duty. So now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite a very special guest up, Miss Josie Letourneau. She is our flower girl, and she has a very special presentation to give to our ship sponsor. Josie is the daughter of our OPC program manager, Mr. John Letourneau. This beautiful bouquet of flowers on behalf of all the shipbuilders at Eastern Shipbuilding Group symbolizes the gratitude of our sponsorship. Thank you, Josie. Now we will turn the sequence of events over to our production lead, led by Mr. Marvin DeCernia for the launch sequence. I'll try to give you a Marvin's gotten with me. He's told me kind of the sequence of things they're going to go. I'll try to give you a play-by-play of what they're doing so you can keep track. Both cranes are increasing their RPMs to 30,000.
One.
Lifting up.